guys. All right. I love it. I love it. I love it. Welcome to the morning call. Hey, real quick, man, we are on low attendance. Go ahead and text your teammates, man. Put it in your group chat. Let's get this call back up to our normal numbers. Let's go, man. Let's go. This is unacceptable, right? Let's go. Let's wake people up. I know it's the second official day of the new month, but we got to get this thing going, guys. We got to get this thing going. All right. So I'm gonna give you the next 1 minute. Text your best teammates out there. Text all your teammates out there. Your group chats, your group me's, your Facebooks, your Instagrams, your MySpaces, everything you have out there. Right. Go ahead and text them. Make sure that they are on. They do not want to miss this training today. All right. And without further ado, man, I'm gonna introduce our RVP. Brian and Melinda. Right. These guys are the ones who orchestrated this call. Man, we are just so thankful for them. And man, without any further ado, head coaches from Freedom Fighters, Brian and Melinda, you guys there? What's up, Brian? What's up, Melinda?
What's going on?
What's up? What's up?
That's good, Brian and Melinda.
What's up?
Let's go, Errol.
Freedom Fighters in the house.
I love it, guys. All right, like Eric said, we're right at 65 participants, guys. You know, we always got to be over 100. So let's do it. Message everybody. Today we have a special privilege of an awesome couple. This is their first time speaking to the aviator hierarchy, although many people in the aviator hierarchy have already spoken for their team. So this is a smart couple. They're like, oh, let's grab all these people and have them speak with us. But guys, they are near term this close to $250,000 earners. They're going to be in the leadership council. They've already promoted their first RVP. They've only been with the company for a couple of years. They have like this F system, and Brian and I have this F system. So like we already became like friends on Facebook. We believe, our Freedom Fighters is like faith, family, freedom, and fun. And theirs is faith, family, fitness, and freedom, right? Am I close? I don't know. They're going to tell you, okay? But they're more fit than me and Brian are, but everything else we like a lot. So they're going to tell you their story and their journey. Guys, one thing that they're going to also talk about today that is special is talking about, corporate America and how we're pretty much taught our whole lives of what to do. And then it's not what we think it's going to be. And they're going to kind of let us know why and why Primerica is the opportunity for you and how you can take a leadership role, become RVP, kick butt, make a lot of money, and be just like this amazing couple, guys. They're in Georgia. They're right by the home office. So I've heard they have a place we can also hang out. I don't know. They'll let us know about that. But they're looking forward to helping us get that $1 million run. And they're part of the Godfrey organization. So guys, please unmute yourselves for just a second. Give it up for them. Give them a warm aviators welcome. Lisa Marie Chaffin. Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go.
All right, let's go.
Man, I tell you, as you guys were introing, the jokes just kept coming to my mind. Eric, there's no way you're old enough to know what MySpace is. You got people on your team that do, but man, it's the honor is all ours. It's, by the way, it's faith, family, fitness. So faith first, family second, business third, and then fitness, because I come from the fitness industry. And last but certainly not least is friendships. We adore the opportunities to network in Primerica, right? To build these relationships. We love hosting. We love being hosted. And man, I tell you, I remember sitting in the back. I can't remember what day the Ortiz family got up on stage at convention, but we were sitting all the way on the opposite side. And man, I had a stud on my team at the time. His name was Eric Ortiz, spelled with a K. Obviously, Ks aren't as good as Cs because he was a stud, but he quit. And your stud didn't quit. But man, just something about that family that day drew me in. And I had the opportunity to attend the Tampa Bay Leadership School a couple of times and watch the family and meet some of y'all. So today is beyond a privilege, beyond an honor. I promise you, I don't take your time lightly. I hope you don't either, right? This $1 million run, I mean, it's got to happen. And here's the trick. I want to stretch your minds even a little bit more. The math on Ed and Yvonne getting to RVP is really, I'm sorry, the $1 Million Earner MDE is really, really simple. They need 7 people making 100 grand. They need 7 ring wearers, right? Your coaches have already paved the way, right? Eric and Bryn at $300,000 going to the moon. By the way, I promise you, they're planning their $1 million run, and it can happen way sooner than you think. One of our dear friends is Carlos and Monica Leon. So my vision gets stretched all the time to think bigger, act bigger. Jason and Jackie, I'm sure they don't want their brother to outdo them, right? So they're sitting there with the second diamond chasing the third. You got the man Edouard, you got Brian and Melinda. Who's next, right? Who's the next ring wearers? Because that's how you get to the million, right? 7 to 10 people wearing the ring. That's how simple this thing is. It's crazy, right? But man, I adore your hierarchy. This is beyond amazing. Gave me chills. And I tried not to over prepare, because we all know what happens when you over prepare for meetings. But hey, so Lisa and I, we've been in the company for almost 5 years. The first year here, let me get some visuals up so I don't have to pause and do it afterwards. Let's get this PowerPoint up. By the way, I love a team that starts exactly on time.
And with cameras on, that's fantastic. We like seeing cameras and faces that we can see emojis and reactions.
My phone hit 9:30 and Eric clicked play.
Yeah,
right?
I like it.
I like how y'all roll. So yeah, I mean, we're regional vice presidents. We actually live in Alpharetta, Georgia. We are 20 minutes from the home office. That does not give us an unfair advantage, to say the very least. Believe it or not, the people in Atlanta haven't heard of Primerica any more than the people in Tampa have heard of Primerica. But it's nuts when you do come to town. We just built out our basement because we love to host. We love to network and grow inside Primerica. Our income we finished June at 247 and change. We did promote our first regional vice president, where we're from, in Maine, right? So we grew up in Maine. We promoted Whitney and Jermaine Walker in Bangor, Maine. 9 months to RVP in the Zoom era. Right, and they didn't go out cheap, by the way, either. Fully licensed with the 26 and 20 by 22 months in a row. So they didn't go out cheap. They left us a stud replacement couple who finished. One of their teammates finished last month at 17 by 17. So they did it right. And I apologize. I drink about 6 of these things a day, and my mouth is dry. It just tells me how much my body's looking forward to talking to your team. But you know, today most certainly isn't about us, but what makes our story so unique is we live that corporate dream. Okay, so y'all are in I want to call it Tomba Bay, right? Or the new title town, right? So we're from Maine, so I'm diehard Red Sox fan. Good news is I'm not a Patriots fan. And man, y'all are the new title town, but we got sick and tired of the cold when we were 24, 25 years old. We moved to Orlando, Florida, right? Land of the sun. And we just fell in love with Florida. And in 2001, our first year in there, I found this amazing company, and we didn't know what we wanted to do. Lisa was a school teacher. For us, moving from Maine to Florida and her getting a job that was going to pay 30 grand a year was like, what?
Yeah, we were pumped.
And I'm like, hey, I kind of like this fitness thing. I was a very, very, very skinny kid, like 6'3", $150. And at this point, I was about 6'3", 200 pounds, and thought I was cool, thought I was yoked. And I liked working out. So I found this small fitness company. At the time, they had 10 clubs. Based out of Lakeland, Florida, and Tampa, Florida. Y'all have been in Tampa a long time. I'm sure you remember Lifestyle Family Fitness. That's like my family, y'all. I love that company like I love this company. However, that company sold to a really bad company. We won't reference them today because I get real nasty. I use different F's when I talk about them. But y'all, I opened the first club outside of Tampa in Orlando, right, for Lifestyles, and by the end, we had 55 clubs, and I was an integral part of growing the company to 55. I was a small minority owner, but I'll never forget the 6-month period of knowing we were going to sell to the evil empire, right? It would be like us selling to Prudential or Northwest Mutual, y'all. That would be like the worst thing ever, kind of like Art selling to Citigroup, right? It just didn't make sense. And man, that was our life. We were in there, and here I am getting promoted year after year, running all these clubs, 300-400 employees, making 6 figures a year. A kid from where I came from, that's just unthinkable, right? So I'm making 6 figures. Lisa's got the life of teaching. We're just enjoying the fun and the sun and boating and all this stuff. And as time went on, in 2005, we had our son Tyler. You see him there. He's 16 today, just got his license. Pray for us. And my daughter, 15, she's never going to drive. She's a train wreck. We had her in 06. So in 05, 06, we had 2 kids, and then the real estate bubble happened, and everything just kept getting harder and harder. And I just kept blaming other sources. And our friction at home was always, you told me you'd be home at 8. By the way, in the fitness industry, you work more than you do anything, right? Fitness was my identity. Lifestyle Family Fitness was who I was. I wasn't the Chaffin's dad. I wasn't Lisa's husband. I was Lifestyle Family Fitness. That's part of the corporate deception. But babe, they were paying me 6 figures. What do you want me to do, right? Don't worry, the next promotion will pay me more money. And anybody that's been there in corporate America knows the next promotion gives you more work and usually not more money, right? We talk about it all the time, but I was 38 years old and didn't understand the rules of the game. I was playing the game really, really well, but I was losing and didn't know how. Just like our clients, they're doing the best thing they know how to do, but they don't know why they're losing. That's the female version of me, right? On the left, and me on the right? That looks like a big meathead with some spiky hair in the corporate rat trap, y'all. In 2003, I made $105,000. I thought I died and gone to heaven. Fast forward, 2011, the year before we sold to that other company, I made 110. By the way, do the math on 8 years of compounding inflation. So we sell to LA. They end up moving us to Atlanta, which was at the time god awful. I go to Lifetime Fitness. Y'all have a baby Lifetime there in the International Mall, but Lifetime is a beast, right? I love their model, love their everything, but you know what I don't love? I don't love how they pay either. They promised us more money. We didn't get more money. In 2016, when those clowns fired me for no good reason, by the way, I was dominating everybody, wrongful termination. I was making $110,000. What I didn't understand is that 15-year run was why we were so frustrated. There was always money. There was always month at the end of the money. Right? I promise. I'm not a great morning person, but this isn't morning, right? This is prime time. I'll get my analogies fixed. I haven't had enough coffee today yet, but it was just like we were getting so frustrated. We had debt. We were always losing. You can't be making $150,000 as a couple deciding which bill to pay this month. And when we lost money in real estate, it was just devastating. Okay. At the time, I still didn't know it. So when you're stuck in the corporate prison and you don't like where you're at, you got to go find a better corporate prison. Think about it. Like, man, there's got to be a better way. If I get promoted, Brian, that'll make me more money, right? Surely, Edward's so lucky that he landed where he landed at a young age, so he could just trust the process. And I promise you, I'll get more into that. But for me, what I didn't understand is this: I couldn't win in the game. The game was designed to defeat me. How do you win in a company where if you make more money, they make less? I'll say that again. In corporate America, if you make more money, they make less. And they loved me, but they weren't going to take less. That's not how it works. In fact, you don't want them to take less because that means they're less likely to succeed. Okay? Look at this. This is just proof, by the way. Corporate America was not designed to make people money. The Industrial Revolution was not designed to make average and ordinary people millionaires, right? It was designed to make our country dominant. Now, who runs our country? Average and ordinary people or the government and the wealthy? You see, this is the best country in the world. Capitalism is the only situation you want to be in my belief. But you want to be the capital, not the ism, Melinda, right? Like being the ism is never good. I don't care what word. If there's any other words that have ism in it, it wouldn't work. But when you look at the proof, by the way, I didn't make this up. This is the U.S. Census Bureau. In what's that? 56 years, I believe that is, or 52 or whatever, 50 something years, the average household income's gone up a whopping 58%. You see, the problem is what was a good job in 1990 paying $40,000 a year still pays $40,000 a year. And maybe you're like, I don't know, 58%. I mean, if I could go from 40, most people's goal in their lifetime is just this, to take their income, Jason, from 44,000 to 69,000. Man, if I could just, 45 this year, in a couple of years, I'll get to 55 more. I mean, this is how teachers do it, right? By the time I'm done, right? If I work 40 hours a day, I'm sorry, 40 hours a week, for 40 years of my life, I get to retire on 40% of what I couldn't afford to live on in the first place. That's how they think, man. But they're gonna pay me a percentage of my best 3 years. What a deal! It's a deception, y'all. It was created to make our country rich, not you. I'll tell you one thing: Art didn't build this thing to make him rich. He built this to make everybody rich. Okay, but look. This is why it's not good enough. Inflation is ridiculous. Okay. $1 in 1967 cost, $7.65 now. So you went up 58% and the cost of living went up 665%. I don't care if you didn't graduate elementary school. That's not good. Okay. By the way, remember the A students work for the C students. More on that in a little bit, right? I graduated high school with a whopping 2.0. And they did try to kick me out of college a couple of times. They failed. I wish they hadn't some days, but hey, that's another story for another day. Think about this. So what's the byproduct of 50 years of losing to inflation? If you've been in Primerica a minute, you know it because you see it every day when you do a mobile F&A and dig in with people, right? You see the devastation of debt. You see they're losing. You see, man, I can't even get an appointment because the wife works 2 jobs and the husband works 3. Why is that the case? Well, this is where they go when they need to make more money. Right? Again, actual data, not my data. Average part-time income, $12.74 an hour. And right now, by the way, they don't even right now, you can't even get people to work for that. They're getting more money for free. But hey, how many hours would you have to work to make more money? Well, if you work 10 hours a week, 40 hours a month to bring home $382. So, some of you might not be too far from thinking that was good. Other people, I think of Leighton Brown. There ain't no way Leighton wants to work 40 hours to make $382. Maybe 40 minutes, 40 seconds, right? Tanya Post says, I want to make $100,000 a minute. Well, that doesn't do it. You got to work more, right? If you don't make more money, you got to work more hours, right? That's how we all grew up, Carlos. It just says, hey, if you don't have enough money, you have to go work more hours. And by the way, I worked a lot of hours to make my money. You start doing the math, and I used to have people tell me, Mike, you don't make as much money as you think you do. And I'm like, I make more than you. And they do the math, right? You work all the time. 100 grand ain't so impressive when you work all the time. Unless you work in Primerica, right? So maybe, by the way, I want to tell you a little story. Maybe this house looks like it might be in West Shore, right? So the owner, the guy that ruined Lifestyle Family Fitness, by the way, he lives in West Shore, right across the bridge on the right. I won't use his name just to be polite, but I don't like him a lick because he values money over people, right? That's something Art says you can't ever do. This is a relationship business. Can't ever value money over people. I promise you, when he gets up to heaven, God is not going to say, "Good job, my good and faithful servant," right? He ain't going to tell him that. And this is a great couple right here. This is actually the girl on the far left was a childhood friend of Lisa's up in Maine, by the way, where life used to be pretty pure. And they'd hang out at the campgrounds that Lisa's grandparents owned all summer. And she went on to go to college and met a guy in Boston who was going to be pretty successful, came from good lineage. And they live in Houston, Texas, and he's a CEO of a company in the oil industry. He's made it. By the way, he's made it so much. That's their house in Houston, Texas. They just sold it. Not too shabby, right? You got the beautiful house. I tell you, every picture. We went to their wedding. I think a plate at the dinner was like $150. It was pretty crazy. The type of stuff that Primericans do just for fun. They do it because that's how they identify themselves. But here's the crazy thing. Anybody see anything weird in that picture on the left, Abel?
He's not really there.
Oh, look at Carlos. Carlos is like, hey, dude, that's not a person. That's a cardboard cutout.
I'd like something wrong with him.
Yo, this was on Facebook. Now I blacked the names out because one of these days I started showing this about a month ago. One of these days I'm going to get on there and somebody's going to go, I know them, and we really don't want them to know we pick on them, Edward. That wouldn't be a lot of fun. But we do pick on them.
This example is just unfortunately, like I said, we were at their wedding. She was in our wedding and good friend of ours, but
Yep.
This is something they were bragging about. And if you really look at that picture, how sad is that?
Yep.
Heartbreaking. I have to find creative ways to make sure that my husband feels present for our girls, who their beautiful family he's never been a part of. He's always off traveling. So have they made it?
It's all perception, y'all. That's, by the way, you know how hard that ladder is. Only one person makes it, by the way. It's like crabs in a bucket. You guys ever seen that? You put a bunch of crabs in the bucket, one tries to crawl out, they all pull them down. That's why I don't like talking to people anymore. If they don't work for Primerica, I don't even like having a conversation with them unless it's to recruit them. Maybe help them be a client. If I'm gonna help them be a client, they got to be smart enough to get recruited. But this is the one guy that made it, by the way. They got a $2.5 million house. The family just had to uproot and move to Switzerland, where they know nobody. Because when you work for corporate America, you are sold out to the devil. You can do whatever they want. They own every single piece of you until they're done with you, y'all. Okay. I made a decision back when we got recruited, and with the help of Randy Godfrey, and believe it or not, even Art Williams, I had enough common sense slapped into me to know that if I kept giving everything I had to companies that didn't give a crap about me, and coming home and giving my family what's left over, the ending was not going to be pretty. I had enough proof. I had enough years. I had enough experience. I'd already done the things they told us to do. So what do you do, right? Well, there's an opportunity. I want to shift gears a little bit here. This is the current opportunity. I certainly didn't think like this. This has been, by the way, 5 years feels like an eternity for me. Some people call it fast in Primerica. I felt like a loser for a long time in Primerica, so it's okay, right? But man, I wish I could think like this sooner. I wish I knew that I was the corporate slave driver sooner. I was the perfect corporate driver, right? Plug and play, pull my string and watch me go. But today, you look at opportunities, everybody wants to be in real estate. And by the way, I love this comparison for our investment world too. Everybody likes to buy real estate right now when the market's on fire. And then when the market's down, they don't want to buy, right? They definitely don't want to sell. But the real estate industry is a $2.7 trillion industry. There's 2 million realtors and growing every single day, right? And right now, when people are like, well, I can make $12.74 an hour, or I can become a realtor. And they spend a couple $1,000 and about 100 hours of study, and they probably failed the test just like we failed the SIEs, right? They probably failed that test, Tim, and they get licensed and they're like, hey, everybody, I'm licensed to sell homes. Like you and 2 million other people, right? It's not as easy as it looks. Believe it or not, the things that people use against us, like our average agent only makes $7,000 a year. If that's the worst thing you got to say about us part-time, good luck. Okay, because that $7,000 didn't take hardly any time, probably less than you work in 1 week at your job, right? But the average real estate agent doesn't make much more. And when inflation gets too high, right? And by the way, if you haven't heard these conversations, it's going on right now in our country. When inflation gets too high, the rubber puppet, the people at the top, right? They turn the handle. We got no say in it, right? We think we're free, but we're not. They control our financial climate. Here's the good news: they don't control Primerica. But all they got to do is push a button inflation goes the other way, and all of a sudden, nobody's buying homes anymore. All of a sudden, nobody wants to buy the home being sold. And the realtor's going, oh my God, I got 27 listings and nobody wants to buy. If I don't make this sale, I can't pay my mortgage. And recessions happen, right? If you don't believe me, well, just look back 10 years, right? It happened. It will happen again. How would you like to know? Randy Godfrey, by the way, was the 124th RVP in A.O. Williams. He was the youngest ever at the time at 24. I know that sounds hilarious. One of these days, we're going to have a 24-year-old $1 million earner. Okay. By the way, those of you in this hierarchy racing to break Mario's record, get your rear ends in gear. Kevin Marquez is only 25 years old. Okay. This thing's getting crazy. But completely lost my train of thought hitting on Marquez. But you think about it. Where do we go? They're going in the wrong place. The recession is going to happen. How would you feel knowing that the second career you chose had an expiration date? And you just had to hope, by the way, you made the cut. Because it's going to happen. It happens in every industry, pharmaceutical sales, you name it. There are places you can go make $250,000 selling stuff. You better buckle up and save every penny you got, because it ain't going to last long, Jason. Right? And by the way, I apologize. I gotta start calling out the wives too, Jackie. Right? If she's not on, she will be. But look at the best opportunity business has ever seen. Primerica. Maybe you know what you got your hands on. Maybe you don't. I'm convinced that I learn more every single month. I fall more in love with this every single month. It's not even funny. But look at this, Joe. $68 trillion industry just in assets to be moved, right? And by the way, y'all have a lot of millennials and some Z's on your team. That 68 trillion has to go from the baby boomers, otherwise known as what most people call old people, right? We won't say that because Ed Navon would whoop my butt next time I'm in Florida, right? But $68 trillion has to change hands from the baby boomers to the millennials who want to invest but don't have any idea how. How do you know that? They've all got like $100,000 in their savings accounts. They need to be educated, right? There's only 360,000 advisors. The average advisor is 59 years old. Ours is 35. How'd you like to get licensed to go save that? By the way, $1 trillion is a football field of pallets stacked 6 feet high of $100 bills. There's 68 of them. I don't know about you, but that's a lot of money. 50 million families have no life insurance, okay? And it's getting worse, by the way. Companies are leaving the life insurance industry. Farmers just got out of the life insurance industry. They sold their book. They resource out. I have, in my B&I group, I have a farmer's broker. He's my client. I have another broker. She's my client because they know it. They know we got the best stuff. 50 million people. You couldn't ever license enough agents. 80% of people are living paycheck to paycheck. 40 million people are going to leave their careers in the next 18 months. Our business is recession proof, y'all. I went through each one of those because it doesn't matter which one of those pistons is cranking. They're all a reason that your business will never suffer if you work it. Okay. So here is your current opportunity. It's all over the internet. Glenn's referenced it. The number's creeping up to 40%. What does that mean for you? Hey, people went home. People went, wait, I don't have to get up at 5:30 to shower and pack my kids' lunch so I can get in the car to go sit on I-4. By the way, Atlanta got nothing on Tampa traffic, right? By the way, I-4 in Orlando just needs to be imploded. Get rid of it. Let's use like helicopters because it's awful, right? But y'all got to go sit on the Howard Franklin Bridge to get to work on time. I ain't doing that. You let people get out of that. They can get up. They could wear something nice up top and some pajamas on the bottom. They could sip their coffee. They have some flexibility. They have some control. And man, they actually made more money because they didn't have to spend as much money. You do that to people, they're like, man, I ain't playing your game no more. I don't have to. It reminds me a little bit of a show Lisa and I used to like when we watched TV. Remember I said when, right? It's called Prison Break. some of y'all might have watched that show, right? I loved Prison Break, Eric. That show was bad to the bone. But this isn't about the show. This is about the Prison Break. And this is the freedom season, not the final season, the freedom season. What would happen if Hillsborough Correctional Center had to send all the prisoners home because of COVID? What if they said, hey, we're going to put these, don't worry, we're going to put these ball and chains on and these ankle bracelets. You're not going to get away, but we got to let you go home for a few months. If you let all the prisoners go home and experience the freedom of a home-cooked meal, to experience their loved ones, to drink a cold one, and then 18 months later, you pick up the phone and you're like, click, 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 click. Hey, Ed, sorry, dude, you got to come back. No, ain't nobody going back to prison. I'm telling you right now, corporate America is prison. We were not created to live a life of bondage. We were created for a life of abundance. There's no abundance in corporate America, y'all. And I tell you this because my team recruited easy for too long, right? We recruited the low-hanging fruit, the needy, not the greedy. And we put up numbers, but man, we struggled. We struggled to get there. It took us, we got to RVP in 18 months, 9 after we made a decision. It took us, we got our ring in July of 2019, missed it for convention. That means it took over 2 years to get the ring. That's ridiculous. Got to get it faster, right? Right now, people are out there looking for more. They do not want to go back to prison. The opportunity here has just never been greater. I just need us to look at it. If everybody out there is looking for an opportunity, what do we got to do? You got to work your Primerica business like a job until it pays you like a business. I like to take it one step further. You better work Primerica like a job until it pays you like a company, right? Where you don't have to work. A business is one thing. You still got to work a business. I work my business every day, right? And I know y'all do too. I see it on social media. Y'all grind like crazy. But our answer is to recruit. I gotta look at my time real quick. So recruiting is always the answer. And I know y'all sell out to this. We're good friends with Jeff and Rachel Seagrave, and Jeff's like, man, for the love of God, no more products. We don't need products. Our product is distribution. Recruit to build distribution. And it's a mindset, right? One of my other talks is about understanding the perception of numbers, right? You recruit 50 people and 45 quit and you cry about it. Good job. You found 5. Go get 5 more. Like go and go and go. But you have to be persistent enough. You have to be tough enough to enjoy the fruits of your labor, right? You got to recruit, and you just can't give up too easy. So many people quit in the accumulation phase. Just like saving for retirement. You can't quit in the accumulation phase. You'll never make it. Recruit for distribution and distribution for outlets, right? Distribution of products? No, distribution of outlets, right? I already told you how to Ed and Yvonne get to $1 million and $2 million. 7 to 10 people make 7 to 10 offices making $100,000 to $250,000 a year. How do they get to 2 million? 15 offices making $100,000 to $200,000 a year. How did Eric and Bryn get there? Same story. It's about outlets, and you really got to. I would encourage you, if you don't already do this, I'm sure y'all do, but study the compensation model. Everybody calls me all the time. What does Carlos do? He studied A.O. Williams. He knew what Art built this thing to be. Citigroup didn't build this thing to be outlets. Citigroup built this thing to sell products. Most people join this business during Citigroup, okay? And they're focused on products because that's how we get paid. Well, you know how you get paid? Outlets that sell products through licensed agents, right? The comp model, I'm in a mad dash. I just switched my mind about a little over a year ago. Carlos finally broke my thinking, and I was done trying to make cash, because when you chase cash, you finish last. When you chase size, you will win the prize if you're willing to do the work and pay the price. We stopped, our income was sitting at about $1.50 and we stopped chasing income and now it's sitting at $250. Shocker. That $100,000 increase is all passive income. Okay. We're about to promote number 2 and number 3. And we're going to be qualified SVPs, and we're going to be power builder SVPs, and then it's to the moon, right? That isn't the finish. That's like your trampoline. You went from the floor to the trampoline. You can't let up until by the way, you can't let up an SVP because you don't get bonused on your second chance if you're not an NSD. Right? The system is perfect. It's freedom, but it's torture. Okay. So in my last 20 minutes, I want to try to hit on what I call your A's and C's, not your P's and Q's, right? Because Art didn't believe in P's and Q's if you haven't figured that out. We'll call it our A's and C's, okay? So the first A, you guys know all this, but I think it's crucial. Attendance is everything. The only reason I made it to convention in Indianapolis is because I never missed a meeting. Is because I had headphones in every day listening to somebody like Ian Proctor or Mario Arizon or Bill Arender, right? And be careful who you listen to, but you got to plug in. I'm man, you want to lose my faith really quick, miss a meeting. But Mike, you don't understand. No, I do. Excuses are like buttholes. Everybody has one and they all stink, right? Everybody. We could all come up with excuses to not be on a meeting. I promise. I'm like, you think I wanted to, people don't know how long it takes to prepare a meeting either, y'all, right? RVPs, you know what I'm talking about. Now, attendance fixes your attitude. You're like, man, I'm so glad I was there today. I used to have clients all the time at the end of the night, like 7, 8 o'clock at night when Lisa wants me home. And I didn't have any clients at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock because they canceled. My 7 o'clock clients like, man, I didn't want to be here today. I'm like, yeah, I've been waiting for you. So let's go. And they're like, oh, you should have called me and canceled. And by the end of the workout, they're like, man, I'm so glad I came here today. Sound familiar? Man, I'm so glad I heard you give the op night for the 415th time. It hit me hard tonight. Attendance fixes attitude. Attitude fixes activity, right? Without activity, by the way, you're just a cheerleader. And I love cheerleaders, right? She was a cheerleader, a different type of cheerleader. I love our business cheerleaders, but I like people that do work a little bit more, right? So that attitude fixes activity. And when you fix activity, by the way, it circles back, it feeds attendance. When activity's up, you're happy to be on the meetings because they're talking about you, right? People get sick and tired of Telegram. We use Band, but people get sick and tired of those. Man, it's so darn busy. You're only pissed because you're not doing nothing, right? Luis, our friend Luis Rodriguez, you guys probably know him. He's under Diana and Miguel. He showed us their Telegram. It was crazy. I mean, like bing, 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 bing all day long, right? And they love it. Same idea, but activity also makes you attractive. This is an attraction business. By the way, people are not attracted to Primerica. People are most definitely not attracted to selling life insurance. People are not attracted to being investment advisors. They'll tell you they are, but that's not true. They're attracted to what they think that brings them. We've got to remember that. I followed Pruck so hard for so long. One of the things he talked about, and I remember the day because Lisa thought he was talking about her. She'd made some posts on social media, which she's phenomenal at, by the way. If you don't follow Lisa, it's under Lisa Marie Chaffin if you have a hard time finding her. But at the time, she'd post something and Pruck made a comment, hey, your posts need to be attractive, lifestyle, freedom, family, right? And that's what people follow. But once you become attractive, you can recruit people. Before that, you can just get IBAs. But they have to be attracted to this thing, Melinda. They got to believe they can get free, Tessie. Now, what does it take to become attractive? And this, to me, this was my game changer. You see, we were so blessed to be recruited by Scott and Georgia Godfrey at a time where I don't think a single person could have recruited me. Right. Eric Ortiz is my type of dude. Like that's the guy in the gym, man. We'd shoot the crap all day long and get nothing done. But I bet he couldn't have recruited me on August 11th, 2016. I knew too much. I thought I was too good. That, man, for Scott to recruit me, a guy that didn't even recruit, to recruit me And I stayed under his wing, under his and Randy's wing, even 2 years after going RVP. I stayed in and I plugged into my RVP, right? You got to remember, if you think you're smarter, somebody's already been there, somebody's already done that, right? Follow your coaches until your wings spread, right? We got to a point where it just made sense. It made sense for us to separate, run our own meetings, do our own things. And all that's happened, by the way, is both our incomes went sky high. But I sold out to a personal management philosophy that I want to take you through right now. There's 8 foundational principles here that I think any one of these alone missing will cost you years in this business. Okay. The first is you got to be committed. And by the way, I can talk for 20 minutes on each one of these, but I've only got 15 minutes to do 8 and a closing. So I'm going to go fast. I want to respect y'all's time. Get out there and make some money. But hey, there's no partially committed. Now, this company's a contradiction. Art says you can't be totally committed. You're either committed or you're not. And then his book says you got to be totally committed. By the way, what did Cortez do when he discovered new land? He turned around and he ordered the ships burned to the ground. And that was the example I gave when I came back from convention in Indianapolis. I came back and I had options, right? One of our speakers said, no soy, no option of secondary income, right? You can't have any other options. I burned everything down. Lifetime was off asking me back for the 3rd time. I had 2 other 6-figure job offers. I'd made $8,000 in 9 months, by the way. And I turned down 6-figure job offers and I just ordered the ships burned to the ground. No options, right? I'm unemployable now. Nobody wants to hire me. You got to be totally committed. And we thought we were committed the first year, but we were still doing silly stuff, right? So much of our young team, they're like, well, Mike, I gotta prepare my meals and go to the gym. Dude, there'll be time for that later. Okay. You see, we even stopped working out. And I'm not telling you to stop working out, but you got to have priorities. If it's not making me money, it's in the way. We sold our boat, and that's my favorite thing in the world. By next summer, we're gonna have a boat. Next time I come to Tampa, we're going out on the boat, y'all. I see it all the time. I love the water. We sold our boat. Our cars are a 2003 Infinity, and it was a 2007 Armada. I upgraded it to a 2009 Armada because the other one couldn't pass inspection. Yo, don't spend money, right? You got to be totally committed, whatever it takes to get there. There's no partially committed, all in. And by the way, when you're not all in, everybody knows it. Everybody's, you're not a phony, but everybody can smell a phony a mile away and you can just sense it. And the day somebody says, I'm all in. Second one is you got to be consistent in so many areas. This is a business of being a follower, right? The best leaders are the best followers. You got to follow till it's your turn to lead, right? When it's your turn to lead, you better be consistent. What do I mean by consistent? Hey, I don't care what's going on in life. I never reschedule a meeting. I had somebody talk to me. We do a Sunday night call every Sunday night. I've had a guest speaker for almost a year and a half every Sunday night. So I really respect this opportunity. I know how important it is. Do you have a Sunday night call on Easter Sunday? Hey, that's a personal decision. But to me, as soon as I cancel a meeting, guess what happens? Attendance goes in the crapper. As soon as you show somebody that there's other priorities, it gets in the way. So you can't miss things. You can't reschedule things, right? As a trainer, if I reschedule on my clients, it's amazing. They all of a sudden just started rescheduling on me, which cost me money, right? You got to run the same play all the time. One of the most dangerous things is getting on POL or going to these other things and wanting to change your presentation. Listen, you don't need to change your presentation. Look at your daggum hierarchy. Right? Run the play. You want a new presentation, get the SVP, then build one. Okay. And by the way, if you get the SVP, you probably shouldn't change your presentation. But you got to be consistent. People can't follow you if you're constantly turning and changing lanes. Right? You ever had somebody trying to follow you on I-4? And you're like, man, I really want to swap lanes, but if I do, they won't follow me. Same idea. And you got to do that to give your efforts time to compound. Our buddy Tyler Zimmerman, I'm sure you guys know Tyler. He's a dum-dum. He moved back to Indianapolis. I don't know why he'd do that, but he brought a video of Levi Lusko talk about compounding efforts. If you haven't ever seen it, go look it up. All efforts compound, by the way. right? Smoking cigarettes compound. You don't get cancer in one day, right? The world records, right? The girl that just broke the world record in the 100-meter dash. She didn't just become the fastest woman in history. She became the fastest woman in history every day for the last 10 years. Compounding efforts. Same thing with reading. Are you reading books and getting smarter every day, or are you watching TV and getting trained every day?
Ooh.
Right? Who do you think controls the TV networks? It's not by accident, y'all. Like, be careful what you listen to. And man, I think you got to compete all the time. 90% of production in Primerica happens chasing promotions and recognition. We had it happen ourselves a month in, right? Like, you put something out there, I put a couple iPads out there, and poof, we got production. Right? People want to compete. Find somebody. I got 15 fight clubs going on. Challenge me. Right? By the way, challenge people better than you. I challenged Jake Fruget. I'm getting my butt whooped, but one day I'm going to remind Jake that I challenged him. Right? is level up. It doesn't do you any good to play with the small fish when you're a big fish, right? So you just got to keep leveling up. I need Dave Harms to accept my fight challenge, but I don't even think he knows how to use POL. So then it's time, right? If you can put all this together, you can get this done. That consistency of compounding efforts, like you just got to believe it, and you got to be mentally tough enough. Because here's the thing, we just finished our second month of 30 by 30. Nothing to brag about. We got to get to 50 by 50 because that's where our hierarchies are built. 100 by 100. Through first, and then 250 through first, right? That's your target. But we just had our three very frustrating months where we averaged 16 by 16. That's no place to be, right? But my team didn't know it. It's the same message, right? You will have peaks and valleys. We're in G-Force, and those of you know Reggie Reed. Reggie's been whooping our butt for like a year, and we're taking it to Reggie right now. I'm like, you guys think Reggie Reed's business fell apart? Right? Like you just buckle up because he's putting in the work. If he stayed consistent, which I know he did, his efforts will compound, which I know they will, and he will come back, but he ain't gonna beat us, right? It's that mentality. You gotta stay tough enough, right? I give a shout out. I don't want to maybe embarrass anybody, but I know people have been through it in your hierarchy, right? I don't care what the challenge is, right? God said it to make you, not to break you. Right? That challenge, right? My mother always taught me if it wasn't for bad luck, we'd have no luck at all. Right? And for that reason, I thought every time I splurged and spent money, that's why we were broke. Because every time I went and bought something would break. And it still happens today, y'all, but I look at it differently. Right? Here's what I know. God tells me to spend money and to give money. Right? As long as I'm giving money, as long as I'm investing in us and I'm betting on us, we're gonna win. And money just keeps getting better. It's a mindset, right? You got to keep that mindset in the down times. Anybody can be excited when you're winning, right? Anybody can get up on stage and sound like a winner when they're making big money and on top of the leaderboards. But what do you do when you're at 5 by 5? You see, our team was less than, we were at like 6 by 6 on the 19th of the month. We finished, but it wasn't because we just flipped the switch. It's because of these principles, these foundational principles. Okay. And that's paying the price, and y'all got to be willing to pay the price. I want to close with a story that's always, when the first time I heard it, it touched me pretty good. You see, in 1940, there was a girl born, young African-American girl in Clarksville, Tennessee. She was the 20th of 22 siblings. Not family members, siblings. Apparently there's no birth control in Clarksville, Tennessee, right? But imagine this, just imagine 1940, Clarksville, Tennessee, 22 minority siblings, right? She was ill from the get, right? She had pneumonia. She got scarlet fever. It turned into polio, a devastating terminal disease, right? Somehow she beat the polio, but it led to infantile paralysis. At age 5, she lost the use of her left leg. For most people, right? Most people go into survival mode, and we've just got to survive. We just got to get by. But her mother wanted more. Now, I don't know how. Like, I used to think my mom was pretty strong. I don't know how with 22 kids, you wouldn't be like, hey, somebody take care of her. right? But y'all, and you know, I think of the tough times that some of y'all have been through that are amazing, Brian. Like I remember hearing that story the first time, but her mother said no. And the nearest, by the way, there was like, there's no care available to minority families where they were from. So she used to take a bus 50 miles each way twice a week to Nashville to get her daughter some care, to get her daughter treatment. And when she came home, the family members had to give her therapy, physical, grueling therapy every day of the week. She begged for everybody to stop. Mama, I don't want to do it. Mama, no. Don't get on the bus again. By the way, this was all the money they had too, right? Like, I mean, it's not like they had money. They kept going. Once that treatment was done, there was 2 more years of orthopedic treatment, shoe inserts, braces, right? Think of Forrest Gump, right? You're all braced up. By age 12, because of all that hard work, she was finally able to walk again. She's able to walk without a brace. And the craziest thing is she actually went on to become a great basketball player, a great track athlete, you know, at a time, again, where being a minority athlete wasn't pretty. And if the story stopped there, everybody would think it was amazing. But in 1960, Wilma Rudolph won 3 gold medals at the Olympics. By the way, you do the math, she was 20 years old. She actually won a bronze medal at 16 years old, 4 years after walking, because she was willing to pay the price. Now, here's the trick. Wilma wasn't paying the price. Her mom was, right? RVPs, don't let up on your people. SVPs, don't let up on your RVPs. Ed and Yvonne, don't let up on everybody else. And teammates, I know you don't want to do it. I know it hurts. I know it's painful. We've been there. I promise you, you can't get to the top here without paying a price. And I promise you, the price is worth it. We're not anywhere near free, but we kind of like our life now. But we like it enough where we're absolutely obsessed with getting to the next level, as I hope all of you are. It's been an honor. And I know Lisa probably wants to close us out with a little something.
Yeah, guys. And I just wanted to say this, just, you know, in thinking of the Olympics and everything that we're going through right now and seeing this picture, the other day it hit me. We were watching One Little Spot with Katie Ledecky in swimming, and they took a moment to show her story and how she got herself where she's at. And they talked about her discipline. They talked about her making sacrifices, sacrificing her time during vacations to go seek out and find a pool so she could practice and swim, and that so that she could work on herself and being able to get herself to the level that she's at. She was applauded. And I believe her coaches expected that she was doing those things when she was on vacation, to find those moments to get herself better. And I want you to relate that to your business and think about those times that you've been on a vacation, or maybe one of your RVPs or your downlines has called you. Are you picking up the phone? Are you making those sacrifices when you need them or when your people need them? I know we've been on vacation with a family for a week in July when we were ridiculed for going and taking time to sit with our team or with our business, where people didn't look at us and go, wow, they're committed. Like in the Olympics, they're applauded, that's expected, and that's what they need to do. But make sure you think about that when you think about your business, right? Make sure you're making those sacrifices. It's so important that you put the time in for you and your family, because it's worth it. And I think that that's something we can all relate to, especially with the Olympics right now and how hard they work to get to that level. Let's be the people that are being cheered. Be that for your family. You know, be the hero that gets to put on the plaques, right? Yeah. And gets to put on those medals from Primerica, because it's worth it. Yeah. So we love you guys. Thank you for today.
And that just, you know, that piece that she's hitting on hit home so hard for us, because we don't care what our family thinks. We really don't. We love them, but they just don't get it, right? Don't be frustrated because people don't support you. They can't support themselves, right? And it's all the time. And that's what Lisa's getting at, is if you have to go to work, right? Hey, by the way, I gotta leave vacation a little early to go to work, like I used to, by the way. We used to fly to Orlando for Thanksgiving. They'd go down early. I'd come in late and I'd fly out early, right? I'd leave at 5 a.m. after Thanksgiving to get back to the job. Oh, Michael, good job. Your husband's so good. Now they're like, what are you guys doing? Right? You'll make new friends. You'll make new family. right? They'll still be your family. They're still blood, but y'all, a Primerica family is like nothing you've ever seen. And I know you got a hierarchy that proves that you can get the whole family, but I tell you, they're unique. And I hope y'all respect it the way we do. We love y'all.
Love you guys. Thank you so much for having us today.
Thank you,
Let's
Michael.
go.
Thank you,
Let's
Michael.
go.
Thank
Great
you.
job.
Thank you.
Great job.
I don't know if Ed wants
Thank
to say
you.
something. He usually does. Ed, did you want to say anything?
Absolutely, absolutely,
There he is.
man. Hey, Michael, Lisa, hey, way to go, man. So proud of you. Awesome job, man. Great job. Really appreciate you guys, man. Love the story. Love how you do it. And Lisa, listen, you got to, hey, for those of you who don't know, this lady right here is a world champ, you know, what would you call it? Fitness
Bodybuilder.
trainer. I mean, just look, stunning out there. So
Aw.
absolutely, man. That's so cool. That's so
Thank
cool.
you.
Good job. Good job. But listen, I really appreciate that. And give my regards to the Godfreys. Randy, man. Randy was one of the guys that, believe it or not, taught me when I came into business. I saw him. He used to do the videos, what whole life is all about, what is buy term and investor difference. He was Art Williams' guy to train the field. And that's when I came into the business. So I learned quite a bit from him, you know, and you're in a tremendous organization. I just love seeing him take off. I mean, with his G-Force and everything that's happening out there, man. God bless you guys. You guys are taking it to the next level. And it's an honor just to have you guys come talk to our team here. So thank you so much for that. Really appreciate that, because that's how, you know, cross-pollination, that's how we all grow together. So way to go, man. So proud of you. But and you can stay on, but listen, I'm just going to talk to the team here real quick. Listen, guys, the month ended last night. Done. All right. This is how we ended up as a hierarchy. As a hierarchy, we ended up with 287 recruits, and we ended up with 210,000 in premium. All right. The goal for August here is we're going to take this thing to 300 by 300,000. Okay. We missed our 300 this time by 13 recruits. We got to go right through that thing, and we got to hit that 300,000. We missed that by 90,000. We could do it, man. We could do this thing. Okay. I just want to congratulate those that did a phenomenal job. Team Legacy, 95 recruits, man. Awesome job. Over 50,000 in premium. So proud of you. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Natasha and Javier Cancio, man, these guys, personal, 30,000 in personal premium. That's phenomenal. I mean, number one is Shelly and Lorraine. They get 70,000. We're still trying to figure out how they do that thing, but, you know, we don't know. But, hey, 30 by 30 in my books is better than 100 by 100 in someone else's book. So great job, guys. So proud of you guys, okay? Now, here's the goal for August. For everyone out there, by the 15th of this month, I want you all focusing on 1 by 1. 1 by 1,000. You need to reset yourself for this contest that's about to happen. All right. We're going to go to Marco Island. Some of going over to Hawaii. Those of you, you got a shot at getting into this contest. All you got to do is 1 by 1. 1 by 1 will put you at the end of the list there. And like I've always said, it's better to be on the list and waiting for the contest than waiting to get on the list. Okay. So once you're in the list, now you got to climb yourself right through that. Has it happened before? I remember Natasha, when she came into the business, there was a contest to Hawaii. She was way out. She came into the game at the last minute, and they put this incentive of 1 by 1, and man, she got it. And she just climbed herself right into Hawaii and had a best time ever. So she could do it. We all can do it. Once you hit 1 by 1, guys, your personal goal should be 3 by 3. You got to qualify. You got to qualify as a district. I don't care what level you're at. You got to qualify yourself as a district. Minimum. These are minimum. Okay. Minimum non-negotiable. You got to do 1 by 1. At the end of the month, you got to be minimum 3 by 3. Okay. If you have a team, if you're building a team, it's got to be 10 by 10. And those that did 10 by 10 this month, I mean, we got Willis and Jay, we got Eric and Bryn, we got Brian and Melinda, we got Jasmine Hat. All of them did 10 by 10. And then the next level is to go 20 by 20. 20 by 20, got to recognize Brittany and Will. Brittany, and by the way, Jasmine did 10 by 10, and she's expecting a baby here next month, okay? Brittany did 20 by 20, and she's expecting she's a little Kobe coming up on the end of this month, on the 28th of this month, okay? So on the 23rd. So, hey, if they could do it, I mean, they just pull from within. So let's go. All right, once you hit that, and Brittany did 20 by 20. Next roll is 30 by 30. 30 by 30, I got to give it up for the great Jason and Jackie hitting 30 by 30. And also Natasha and Juvier doing 30 by 30. So proud of you guys. Awesome job. And then we got the beast of the beast who's, we got Edward Fernandez 50 by 50, but he's got some animals on that team. He's got Leighton Brown out there, shooting up 20 by 20. He's also got Abel and Emily doing it 20 by 20. He's also got, the Camejo brothers. He got Aribel. All these guys are killing Aribel and Jeff. Come on, guys. We could do this thing. Let's go out there, go make it happen, man. Let's go have a blast. Let's go have a great time. Remember, keep that energy up. High energy means high income, okay? So let's go. Let's go to work, all right? So with that, man, let's go to work. And I'm going to sign off. But before I do that, Michael, Lisa, proud of you guys. Awesome job. Thank you so much. And for the rest of the team, guys, we love you. And we're going to do it big. We're going to do it big time, okay? We're going to do this thing like you would not believe, okay? Then we're going to be talking about it, okay? But let's give it everything we got right now. And let's finish off strong. Let's start strong and let's finish strong, okay? So let's go make it happen, all right? With that, hey, let's sign off, man. Let's sign off. You all know who we are. Come on, come on.
Let's go, let's go.
Unmute.
Yes,
Aviators. Come on, talk to me.
Michael, Lisa, appreciate you.
You can do this.
Arriba, arriba.
Let's go.
Hey.